Hey everybody, this is going to be your trade ideas for the upcoming week of 8/16 through 8/20. All right. Now, this list is going to be a little bit short just because I feel like some of the setups are going to play out after Tuesday. I think a lot of times Monday is red. So for some things that would be good for calls, Monday is going to be red potentially for it. And I'm going to give y'all an example at the end. The last stock I'll go over is going to be an example of that. So make sure you follow the Twitch and check for those watch lists throughout the week for that day. I do like daily watch lists throughout the week. So make sure you follow the Twitch for that, or just check research admin every night, as well as just follow me on Instagram. All right. So first up, we got is Beyond. Now, let me go over this. Beyond is a red month. All right. It went back red on the month. So it looks like it wants to keep dropping down. All right. So it's the continuity on the month is red. The week is red until this upcoming week starts. And then I think the daily is red. All right. So the reason why we're looking at Beyond is because Beyond has a shooter on the week, and it has time frame continuity back to the downside, as well as Beyond has a gap right here to fill. So it probably just wants this gap. So make sure you keep track of this, because it might fill the gap and then come back up if it even goes down. Because I don't predict. I just take what the market give me, but this is what it looks like it is setting up for. Okay. Now, so if we're drawing our broaden information, draw it on the week, draw from here back to here, because this is where price reversed. It did a 2-1-2 reverse. As you can see from here, it did a 2 up, 2 down reversal. So I draw my top right here. So here's the bottom where some support is, and here's the top where the resistance is, and you can see that by these wicks. All right. So remember, your broad information isn't anything really but support and resistance. And as you can see, I'll find my tops and bottom by seeing where price reverse. So 2-1-2 off the bottom, go up, 2 down. All right, and it kind of did one right here too. So 2 up, 2 down, went back up, then came back down. So that's how you know this is some respected resistance. All right. Boom. Now, what I'm going to be looking for is a reversal below here for puts, and then I just still keep track of where it could go calls for the week. So entry calls, week. My bad, y'all. I got a different keyboard. Threw me off for a second. Got entry, puts, week. All right. So this would be our first price target for puts, first price target for calls. PT1 puts, week. PT1 calls, week. All right. So this is going to be the first price target. Then after that, it's really just this gap fill. I mean, I'll mark this one as the next price target, but if it goes below here, it's going into the gap. PT 2 puts, week. And I put week so I know which time frame it is. I put the time frame in parentheses so I know, and so you know which time frame it is. All right. So this is what we're shooting for, really, to fill the gap. But these are our price targets. Okay. Then if we go back to the daily, if we go down to the daily, all right, you'll see the entry for puts on the week and the day are the same. All right. Then if we go down to the 4-hour for earlier entry, it's basically the same, but we will mark the entry for calls just in case it reverses. All right. So here's our entry for calls on the 4-hour. And then if I go up to the daily, you'll see that's the entry for calls on the daily. Boom. Entry calls. All right, boom. So that's what we got for beyond. Let me see. So for beyond, for the puts, I'd be looking at this 120 right here. I go with the 120 or the 115. It's up to you how you like to trade. If you just want to day trade it Monday, I go with the 120 or the 115. But obviously, all this volume and stuff will change once Monday opens up. As you can see, it's not really, besides this 130, it's not really too many on the call side. All right. It's a lot of people over here on the put side. So I go with the 120 or the 115. If I did a quick analyze of it, let's just say it hits price target 2, say it hits 112, and you buy the 120, I meant buy the 115. Let's say it hits 112 Tuesday. Yeah. That's not a bad risk to reward right there. I think it was like 112. Hold on, what was that? 112.97. Okay. 112.97. Yeah, not a bad risk reward. That's almost 400%. It's like 3 something. All right. So that's what we got for beyond me. Sheesh. I don't got a pen right here. Oh, here you go. Let me write that down. Beyond 110 put 120. I won't go over the cause aspect because I'm looking more at as a put. All right. So next we got, go back to the week. We got Netflix with the inside week. So for Netflix, mark the high, mark the low. These are going to be your price targets right here. Now for Netflix, it is more so, oh, it's an inside red month. So continuity is to the downside for right now. But it can go green. Where can it go green at? The month open is right here. So Netflix goes back above 519.03. What was that? 519? No, it's 519 right on the dot. It'll go back green on the month. How do I know that? Because if you know candlesticks, you know that it's a red candlestick if the price action is below where it opened at. And Netflix this month opened at 519. So if it gets back above 519, the month will go green. All right. But for Netflix, we'll say this is our entry for calls on the week. Entry calls week. Entry puts week. This will be our price target 1, PT 1 puts week. PT 1 calls week. All right. And for this one, I would just draw the broad information based off this 3. Oops, wrong drawn tool. Because this one looks exactly right here. So that'd be the broad information. Go down to the daily. See, that's almost dead on. Minus, it probably should have been a little bit lower right there. Oops. But yeah, so on the daily, we got a green candle. So we just marked the high and low because Monday could just be inside or it could go back down. We'll see. Say entry puts daily. Now, our first price target would be actually be the entry for puts on the week. And then we go up here, entry calls daily. Boom. Then we go down to the 4 hour, get our earlier entry off this inside candle. So for Netflix, we're either looking for a 212 to the downside or 212 to the upside. Actually, it was a 3-1. A 3-1-2 to the upside or a 3-1-2 to the downside based off the week. If you're trying to measure it up to your strat cheat sheet, basically we had a 3-1 on the week. So it's either gonna go 3-1-2 to the upside or 3-1-2 to the downside. We'll see though. Then we got entry puts 4 hour. Reason why I always go down to the lower time frame is to get the earlier entry to get a better feel by the time it hits the daily. Because some stuff it hit the daily and go up some and then stop. So I'm trying to get as much of catch as much of that move as possible. And that's why I go down to the 4 hour. Plus the 4 hour splits your day in half. So it's splitting Friday in half. Right. So it gives us a type of strat signal. So it's either going to be a 2-1-2 continuation on the 4 hour to trigger the calls on the daily, or it's going to be a 2-1-2 reversal to trigger the puts on the daily. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I talk about how time frames flow together. Okay. For this one, I'm gonna try to keep the video short. Just catch us on Twitch tonight. Just look for the announcement in the group if you watching this before it's nighttime. We're gonna hop on Twitch and go more, not really go more in depth, probably go over the contracts and analyze them and stuff like that. Because I don't want to make this video too long. I feel like when the trade ideas are over like 45 minutes, that's like too long. So that's your entries and everything for Netflix. And here's your broad information. I drew it on the week. If you want to draw it on the daily, you can just draw from this candle back to here, and then draw from this candle back to there. And it'll look like this. Hold on. So boom. All right. So that's the broad information. You also could on the daily change it to this candle right here. If it truly has reversed, this could be the bottom right here as well. All right. So that's what we got. On to the next one. NVIDIA. So we go down to the week. You see I already drew a broad information on NVIDIA. Top, back to here. Basically, really, well, yeah, if you want to draw it from here back to here, or just wait till we get down to the daily. I'm more than likely I drew it on the daily. But for NVIDIA, the month is actually green. We got an inside week. All right, so it may go 2-1-2 continuation. Let me remove all this stuff. All right, my bad. All right, so let's start by marking the high, mark the low. This will be our first price target right here. All right. Edit properties, entry, calls, week. Entry calls week. Boom. Entry puts week. All right. PT1 puts week. And then PT1 calls PT1 calls All right. So it's either going to be a 2-1-2 continuation, 2-1-2 reversal, or it potentially could go 3. But that's what we're looking at. Because remember, there can only be three candlesticks. Can only be 3 different candlesticks from one to the next. All right. Now, as you can see on the daily, it's already reversed. Yeah, and I drew it on the daily. So boom, there's your broad information here back to there. So Monday we'll either get a 2-2 continuation or potentially 2-2 reversal or 3. All right, so boom. And as the week goes on, entry puts your daily entries obviously will change. All right. It will change based off what the next candle does on throughout the week entry calls. All right. Then we go down to the 4-hour. So video made the push at the end of the day. All right. We got a little bit of earlier entry. Entry calls for 4-hour. And when you're picking your contract, you want to try to be in the money. You don't want to go more than a couple plays out, a couple on spots out the money. All right. So there's your entry, daily, calls, puts, daily. But yeah, when it comes to your contract, so like with NVIDIA, if you were going to go calls, I would at least get like maybe like the 205, right? So by the time you hit your week entry, you're in the money. And then if you want to just ride it up the rest of the week, you can. All right. So I wouldn't go any further than like the 205 and stuff like that. Yeah, because you want to be in the money as soon as possible and start building that intrinsic value, because we're going to be going with this week's contract. So go with the 820 contract. That is also the 3rd Friday of this month. So that's going to be the contract with all the volume and open interest. This is your monthly contract right here. All right. So next is QCOM. Look at the week. QCOM got a 2-down hammer, potentially about to reverse back to the upside. Let me clear this drawing. Let me show you what it looks like on the month. On the month, it triggered the monthly entry. So it'll go back, 2 up in force. Basically, when it's 2 up in force, it's what triggers the entry for the month for calls and stuff like that. We're being long. It's also what made it a 2 up, breaking above 151.52. So we want to see it break back above there. All right. Goes to enforce. But the other thing about it is that's what we're looking at. I think we was on the weekly when we saw it. It looks like it pulled back to go right back above this entry. All right. So we go down to the week. My bad. You see it went 2 down and came back up. So we might have a 2 down, 2 up reversal right here. Back, changing the continuity of the month back to green. All right. Yeah, because here's the month open right here, 150, because this is the first week of the month. All right. So the first week of the month and the month gonna have the same entry, right? The month and week don't uncouple until the second week, just to explain the uncoupling real quick. So as you can see, the open is 150, right? The month and week, the first week of the month gonna have the same open. It's the first week of the month, right? And Monday is the first day of the week. So Monday, on the first week of the month, if the month starts at the beginning of the week, that Monday, week, and month, that day, month, and week are gonna all have the same entry, which is gonna be Monday, the week candle, and the month. They're all gonna have the same entry. Why? Because that's the first day of the week and the first week of the month. All right. They don't uncouple until, well, the week and day uncouple on Tuesday, but the month and week won't uncouple to the second week. All right. Just a little quick tidbit. So we're looking for the 2 down, 2 up reversal right here. Also mark the low. And then this will be our first price target. So this would be PT one calls, yeah, week. Change that to green. All right, then it's gonna be target for puts. Doubt it go down that far, but you never know. View 2-1 puts. You never know. That's why I don't ever try and predict, because you just make an A out yourself, trying to be like, oh yeah, it's definitely gonna do this. No one knows what it's gonna do. If we did, we'd all be rich, like billions, millions. Anyways, entry calls week. Me expand that for y'all. All right. Give you a quick second to get that. All right, boom. Now we're gonna go down to the daily, mark that. So as you can see, for QCOM, your week and your day entry gonna be the same. Let me just go ahead and mark this for entry for puts so you can see it. Entry, puts, daily. And again, the reason why we mark the high and the low is because that's gonna tell us when that candle becomes a 2 or when it becomes a 3, or if it stays in between here, it's gonna be a 1, right? Because for it to be a 2 up, it got to break the high. For it to be a 2 down, it got to break the low. An inside candle doesn't break the high or the low. And then your 3 breaks both sides. So if Monday QCon wanted to go, 2 down, then come back up and then break the high, that would make it a 3. So there's only a possibility of 3 candles happening Monday. All right. Also, the reason why we set our price targets at the bottom of the candles for puts is because when people are long, usually they put their stop loss at the bottom of the candle, right? So that's why we want to target it, because if we trigger somebody stops, they help further our cause. So if we're in puts and somebody stop loss get triggered, like it breaks below here, and this person's stop loss get triggered, now they're coming to the market as sellers, which help push the market down by adding more supply to the market. All right. No supply and demand and everything. There must be a buyer for every seller. Yeah. So then we go down to the 4-hour, mark the high, mark the low. All right. Entry, puts, 4-hour. Oops. Entry, calls. All right. So that's everything. Pause the video. Make sure you get that. All right. Now it's on to the second to last one. Twitter puts. Let me clear all this out. All right, if we go to the month on Twitter, see the month went 2 down. All right, so we already got the 2 up, 2 down reversal on the month. We just don't know how far it will go, really. So for Twitter on the week, we're hoping for a 2-2 continuation. All right, entry, puts, week. All right, then this will be our first price target right here. PT1 puts, week. All right. Then for calls, if it happens to go 3 or something, entry, calls, week. Then this will be our first price target. Entry, call. PT1 calls. All right. If I was drawing the broad information for Twitter right now, I'll just be drawing it from. I have this as the bottom for right now. And then this as the top, since it reversed right here. Went up, came down. Also, matter of fact, I'm tripping. This actually could be the bottom right here. Because here's your 3 reversing off the bottom. All right. Well, a 3 on a lower time frame is a broad information. So let me remove this bigger one. All right, boom. Really could have drawn it on the daily. As you can see, got the top reversal, the reversal off the bottom. So let me redraw this part. There we go. All right. So on the daily, this is why I like Twitter for puts, because you get the reversal right here. So if I go entry puts daily, then entry calls, just in case it goes to the upside. But reason why I'm liking Twitter is because it looks like it went two up to take a quick break from being puts and then came back down. So now we got a shooter on the daily, and we'll get the 2 up, 2 down reversal into the weekly trigger. All right. So that's why I like Twitter, because we're getting the reversal back to the downside. And then on the 4-hour, there's no earlier entry for call. I mean for puts, but there's an earlier entry for calls. Entry calls 4-hour. And remember, like I tell you, if it breaks for calls and then it breaks back below here and it get like more than 50% of the way through there, for one, exercise, having your 20% stop loss, or however you want to do your stops. Or if you want to, monitor it on a lower time frame, do that. But just make sure you don't be like, oh, it's going to be calls and you get stuck in your buys and then it goes puts. All right. Remember to have great risk management. All right. So this is what we got for Twitter. Last, I'm not even gonna mark anything. Go over Chewy because I gotta hurry up and end this. Chewy. Let me clear all this. Clear drawing set. With Chewy is a 2 up on the month. All right, as you can see, it's a strong 2 up on the month. On the week, it's 2 up, right? So we would be looking for a 2-2 continuation. Now, the thing is with the daily, Chewy has a shooter. Now, what could happen is Monday, Chewy breaks below here for puts and goes 2 down. I would monitor that closely, right? If you was like, I'm gonna play Chewy puts Monday, monitor that because Chewy could go 2 up like this, 2 up, and then go hammer and then go right back to the upside to reverse back into continuity, just so some people can take profit. So remember that Chewy is green on the year. All right. It's green on the quarter. Just did a 2 down, 2 up reversal on the quarter. And it's green on the month. And it had been did a 2 down, 2 up reversal on the month. So Chewy got the head of steam to the upside. So right here, this could just be, maybe it drops for 2 days, but just monitor that because eventually it may reverse back to the upside for the time frame continuity, right? So if Monday Chewy goes 2 down and it goes hammer, I'm definitely going to be looking at it for Tuesday. And this was one of the ones where I meant by like, it may be, I can't really necessarily put it on the list because Monday may just be puts and then the rest of the week be calls. It's kind of like one of those things. Chewy's probably due for a pullback. It probably goes 2 down. All right. Make a lower low, right? Because it's basically been kind of going up besides right here and right there. Make a lower low before taking the next hike up. All right. So it might go 2 down, maybe go 2 down again Tuesday and then reverse and go back up. We'll see. But if it does break below here, I'd be curious to see that. But it may just break below here, stop midway through this candle, or stop right here, and then reverse and become like a hammer. All right. So we'll see how that plays out. If it does work out like that, then we'll get the 2 down, 2 up reversal back into full time frame continuity. And 2 down, 2 up reversals is my favorite. So we'll be monitoring Chewy for that. All right. So that's the end of this trade ideas. Remember, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Instagram. And you know what I'm saying? We're on Twitch Monday through Friday, at least 30 minutes into the market. 30 minutes into the market, that's when I hop on during the week. And we probably be on there like 3-4 hours. And then that night, I come up with the watch list live and stuff like that. All right. So catch y'all later.